All right. So today I'm running with Tarek. He's been a running buddy for a while. We've run with each other many times. So Tarek, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure I can. Okay, my name is Tarek. If you were born in the Arab world or the Mediterranean, you would know my name. For those who are not, it's spelled T-A-R-E-K. And I'm enjoying my run today with my buddy Omar. And you want to know a bit about myself? So I enjoy philosophy, arts, and tennis. I coach and play. Recently, I'm into Latin dance. I became a bachata dance leader. So
what does that even mean?
So bachata is a form of Latin dancing.
Okay.
Where you have both a leader and a follower.
Nice.
And it's synchronized dancing. So the goal is to have some kind of synchronicity. It's a form of expression.
Oh, interesting. Okay, when we come to running, I'll ask you, does it affect your running?
Yeah, sure.
Does it give you flexibility and stuff? Can you tell us a bit about your running journey?
Yeah, sure. So some people of your audience might find this odd, but I do not perceive running as a sport. So running for me is some kind of hygiene activity. So much like when you shower,
okay,
to clean yourself from the outside, you need to run to clean yourself from the inside.
Oh,
so it's cleansing. And about my running journey, so running is a foundational activity. So I compare it always to math. So if you study math, you probably can do accounting, engineering, or medicine because of how strong your math is. So running is similar. If you have a good running base, then you can become better in other sports. So for me, it's a CrossFit sport for other sports, but then I was drawn into it to become more like a competitive runner in races for a very mimetic reason. So I was mimicking my other buddies, such as my buddy Omar here, who is a very good runner. So I wanted to be like him, and to be like him, I have to run. So I started running. Running is good. You should run too.
Awesome. Okay, Tarek. So that was your running journey, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask you now about running. What do you like most about running? Can be many things or one thing, but what is the thing that if you're not running, you miss?
Well, this is a loaded question because
yes,
what I like most is not obvious. What I like most is the runner's high. So runner's high is that after every run, your body releases endorphins and enkephalins, and these chemicals are related structurally to morphine, and perhaps heroin would be a better example. So you're high, you're naturally and legally high. So this makes you genuinely happy for the rest of the day. You have a better mental edge and your problem-solving ability improves. And so this is the perk of running. But theoretically, I mean, for someone who has not experienced this, I can tell you that for me, running is efficient. So the return per minute is the highest in any cardio activity. So if you want to improve your heart, you want to have a strong heart, you want to beat heart diseases, vascular diseases, then running is efficient.
Okay.
Now, to the second part of the question, which is what do I dislike or least like about running? Okay, it's hard to dislike running because if you're invested in it, you see the rewards. But if I have to pick something, I can say that running is time consuming.
Yes.
Especially at the level of running that I'm doing.
Yep.
So it is a part-time job. If you are training for a marathon, you're expected to do between 30 to 50 kilometers a week. And 30 to 50 kilometers a week means that you're gonna spend 5 hours approximately every week running. And
plus the
this-
showering and
This
changing.
does not
and-
include
Yeah.
preparation time. So, and you will most likely do this early mornings before you go to work, which will put you in bed early. So you're gonna be in a different time zone. And this
Absolutely.
can lead to a little bit of social alienation,
Yes.
because then you become in a different group.
Yes.
So runners and athletes versus non-runners and athletes, and it's hard to connect with people who don't run socially. So that's a challenge.
Absolutely. You know, I totally agree. Like last year when I was training for my marathon, afterwards I wanted to stop training at that level, not because of the effort or anything else, but because of the time. Because people don't realize that running long distances is a commitment, and it takes, as you said exactly, a long time. Means you have to go to bed early, so you can wake up super early. Means that while your friends are watching a movie late at night on the weekend, you have to go to bed. So it's a commitment.
So instead of giving you the problem without giving you a solution, let me tell you how I was able to kind of go through this.
Yes.
So if you look closely, I'm wearing headset. This is called bone conduction earphones, and I have my audiobooks. And sometimes I have lectures, sometimes I have podcasts, sometimes I have the book that I'm reading on Google Books. It has a feature called Read Aloud.
Oh, nice.
And so what happens is that when you're running, you don't count the time towards running, but you count the time towards your studying or to whatever you're doing. This is actually useful. So the 5 hours that you're running become 5 hours of reading, 5 hours of meditation, 5 hours of a different activity that you're doing while running. So kind of the problem solves itself.
Yep. Okay, Tarek. So you've been running for a while. You got some experience. Let's try to pass that on. So I want to ask you, for a person who's a never runner, a person who has never been into running, thinks running is sweaty and silly, and I'd rather go to the gym or play tennis or any other activity, which are all fine, what would you tell them? What advice would you tell them about running to maybe win them on?
So resistance training, which people call it going to the gym, or having a technical sport such as playing tennis, are not substitutes for running. When you're running, it's actually the least technical among sports, but at the same time it's the most efficient for your heart. So it's foundational CrossFit activity. Most likely you want to live longer, most likely you want to live healthier, and 1/3 of mortality, and which means how people die, or the diseases that people suffer, are cardiovascular, which means it's related to your heart and your blood vessels. So it is within your power to protect yourself by doing cardio activity. So it's going to come down to either running, swimming, or rowing, or cycling. And among those cardio sports, the easiest entry point is running, because you need just good shoes and almost good company to get you to run. Now, how you're gonna run. So this is really important because running is intimidating for many people who have never ran before. So you need to know the difference between running and sprinting. Most people confuse both, especially that they have never ran before. So your goal is not to sprint. Your goal is to get into what is called a heart rate zone. And a heart rate zone is what is called easy. You want to be in easy heart rate. So how do you know that you're in easy? If you're able to have a conversation. So if you're able to carry a full conversation without stopping and you're actually running, it means it's easy. Fun.
That's what we're doing right now.
And it's social.
Yep.
So easy runs are social. So it's important that you go and run, start somewhere, use what you have, do what you can, and to motivate you further, if you're brand new, like never ran before, you have natural celebrity status. When you join a running group and you're the newest, you're a superstar. So everyone will be around you, welcoming you, running at your pace, and trying to help you run better, giving you valuable tips and good lessons. I wish someone told me this when I first started. Have like a hypothetical scenario where you actually joined in a running group, you're successful running 1 or 2 kilometers, but then for some reason life happens and you're dropping out. You're unable to maintain your performance. Surprisingly, the answer has nothing to do with running. So the same thing could happen to you in multiple avenues in life. You could start something, some activity, and you're not following up on it. So the advice I'm gonna give you applies to everything beyond running. And what you can do, should do, is use the human superpower that you are gifted. And what is it? It is discipline. So there is a secret to any activity, which is if you repeat it 200 times,
Wow.
you develop a phenomenon called automaticity. And automaticity means that the activity becomes automatic behavior.
Okay.
And you already do this in your daily chores, you already do this in your life. 80% of your behavior is automatic, is disciplined. So what you need to do is just install this and make it automatic behavior. If it is automatic, you don't need motivation, you don't need reasons, you will do it. You'll just do it. Because you can't stop doing it.
Okay, but what if, like, I'm already running, I've gone from not running at all to doing a kilometer or 2 or 3, but I go out to these guys, they're doing 10 and 15 and 20, and it seems like impossible. I'm a bit intimidated.
Okay, so distances are relative. So in time, after 100 runs, you will discover that there's a decimal added. So the effort you need to do 10K is the effort that you're doing 1K right now.
Yep.
And you will not feel it.
Yep.
I promise you this. And after 200 runs, you're gonna notice that there's another 10K added. So the effort doing 20K is the same effort as 10K. And as you continue running, you're gonna be a very disciplined runner. You're not gonna feel it. You're gonna have different goals. And you're gonna understand running more technical, better. You're gonna become a runner. Now, at that point, you're gonna have metabolic consequences to your running, and you will see that you're probably more lean, fit, you're not catching breath, and you're able to explain your ideas and articulate them about running better. You might be even coaching.
There's a runner, I'm a runner, I'm going through a rough patch, right? I had an injury that stopped me from running. I'm getting really busy at work, family commitments, and I'm not being able to run as much as I could. What advice? We've all been there. What would you tell them?
Most runners that you see on the road or on the track are going through rough patches. There is no human being who's not going through a rough patch. You don't know if I'm going through a rough patch right now or not.
Yep.
You don't know if Amar's going through a rough patch or not. What I can tell you is own yourself. You can't control whatever is happening to you, but you can control how you respond to it. So your response makes you responsible. My advice is baby steps and use the word before instead of the word after. So when you're scheduling when to run, schedule it before an activity that you're gonna do anyways.
Yep.
And if you say I'm gonna do it after, it opens room for procrastination. But when you do it before, it locks it in and you do it. So this is probably the hack I can share with you. Rough patches will happen no matter what. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna get injured, you're gonna have family issues, you're gonna have work issues, your kids, your parents, whatever you're going through, you're gonna have challenges. Through this, persevere and win. Own yourself.
Perfect. Can I add one thing
Yeah.
that I want to touch on? Some people, including myself, have guilt when they're busy with work or family or have an injury, and I log on Strava and I'm like, oh my god, everybody else is running. I haven't been running in weeks, and I feel guilt for not doing that. What did you say to
Yeah, so guilt is a negative emotion. It is bad, but you can change it from becoming a negative emotion to a positive emotion.
Okay.
So what I can tell you is pressure or guilt is a privilege. If you don't feel it, you don't have a motivation, incentive.
Oh.
Most people are looking for motivation. You're just
Okay.
giving yourself the motivation.
Yep.
Use this guilt if it's going to motivate you, and
Okay.
do some baby steps within the time and effort you're allowed.
Okay, Tarek. I'm gonna ask you a bit about your running preferences. You've touched on that, but let's talk about it again. Do you like running with music, podcasts, audiobooks, or, just listening to your mind?
All of the above.
All of the above, yeah.
So it really depends on my mood.
Yes.
And you mentioned rough patches, you mentioned problems in life. So it depends on where my mind is. Most cases, like 60%, are audiobooks and podcasts. Sometimes I like hype music, especially in races. And sometimes I like just to introspect.
Yep.
And which is a form of meditation.
Yep.
And I enjoy running, but if I'm to do this, I have to run alone. And with the volume I'm running, I probably run alone probably 50% of the time.
Okay.
I have a dog. My dog is my pacer.
Yep.
I trained him to pace me at specific paces, so I like running with him as well. But just to share with you, runner lingo, if you're running without a dog, headphones, nothing, not even a water vest, a hydration vest, it's called running naked. So it's not literally naked.
Not to be confused with the actual
Yeah,
naked
they're not
runners.
totally naked. But so to your point, all of the above.
Okay. Okay, Tarek. A couple of short and quick questions. Are you an out and back runner or a loop runner?
Both, but I prefer loop if I can plan it.
Awesome. Me too. Okay. What's your preferred time of day for running if you had no commitments?
Morning.
You're a morning person.
Yeah, you want your heart rate to mellow before you go to bed. You don't want to run, then go to bed.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. I do both, but yeah, sometimes when I run late in the evening, I find it harder to sleep.
So you don't want to do physical activity 3 hours before going to bed. So as long as you have a 3-hour gap, you're fine. But overall, your body will respond to you better early in the morning.
Okay. I know that you're training now for a long race.
Yeah.
But regardless of the race, training, what is your favorite distance? Like, what, if you had no commitment to training at all, what is the running distance that you really enjoy?
Probably the half marathon,
Okay.
which is 21.1K.
Okay.
And the reason is you can manage it really well in the sense that you can do it fast, you can do it slow, you can do it at intervals.
Yep.
It's an easy distance.
Yes. And you finish, you feel like you've done a great workout, but you're not destroyed.
Oh, it's a matter of conditioning.
Yeah, yeah.
You can do the same with a marathon.
Yeah.
But the time commitment,
Yeah.
it's relatively easier.
Yeah.
The average is 2 hours.
Yep. Yep. No, I totally agree. And for my fitness level, for example, yeah, I can do half. And then the rest of the day, I'm fairly fine. A bit tired, but fine.
Yeah.
But going beyond that, like 30, no, it like the rest of the day, I'm sitting down. It becomes like more of an effort.
It is.
Running is a kind of sport that people say, everybody can run. You can literally go out bare feet in your pajamas, run around the house. But we all know, once you start getting serious about it, you need some gear, right?
Yeah.
So can you talk to us about your favorite gear or something that made a difference for your running?
Yeah, so my favorite gear surprisingly had little to do with running, which is my bone conduction headset.
Okay.
Because I started because I want to have what is called situational awareness.
Yep.
I want to know my surroundings, and then I ended up using it all day long, whether I'm running or not.
Oh wow.
So it is something that I think useful for all people, whether they run or not. It's for your safety.
Yeah, I guess the safety is like especially important when you're running, because sometimes even though you're being careful, you might start daydreaming or thinking about your next mile and end up like not paying attention. But do you feel that there's any impact on sound quality at all?
You don't feel it. What you feel is just music, and you're not in it for the bass, you're in it for the sound. Like, so it is by all means acceptable. When you're running, you want to be aware of cars, bicycles, people giving you tips. Plus, sometimes you have a chat with other runners. So for these reasons, you want to have the ability to hear them.
Yep.
So safety is important.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like you mentioned before, especially in races, I like to listen to energizing music.
Yeah.
But my headphones are the ones that completely isolate. So I keep finding myself having to put them on and off
Yeah.
throughout the race.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I want to hear people around me, or the people cheering. You keep putting them on and off. So that's a good point.
Okay.
What's your favorite shoes?
How shoes are very specific. So I have a little bit of pronation. I can fit in neutral shoes,
Okay.
but I need stability shoes.
Okay.
So I like these New Balance shoes
Okay.
that I'm wearing. I purchased them twice, so I guess they're good for me. But don't take my word for it.
Yeah.
Just get the shoes that you feel comfortable in.
Yeah,
Your
exactly.
feet are not my feet.
Yep. Are these the 860?
Oh, it is a Stability 860, yes.
Okay. So I think we've gone through all the questions, but now it's time for you to talk about anything you want, anything you want to promote or advice you want to give.
Yeah, so what I would advise everyone is to get his heart checked before engaging in vigorous physical activities. Actually, I would recommend this whether you're engaging in physical vigorous activities or not, because sometimes you have heart that has predisposition, which means that you can have a cardiac event, a heart condition.
Yep.
And if you get a heart condition, it means it's been waiting for you for 20 years and it could have been prevented.
Yep. No, that's very good advice. And sometimes we feel like we take this for granted, that, okay, I started running, everything is going well, but you gotta be careful.
Yep. I want to thank you, Omar, for this wonderful opportunity.
I want to thank you. This is gonna be the first one, right?
Oh, hallelujah. Hallelujah. It's a beautiful scenic run.
Yeah.
On a beautiful summer day.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tarek.
Take care,
For your
everyone.
time.